What up and welcome to Rama Screen YouTube channel, and here's my review of Netflix new animated movie, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Fowl. Let's rock this. Yes, guess who's back, baby? It's none other than one of our favorite dynamic duos of all time, and no, it's not Batman and Robin, it's Wallace and Gromit. And thanks to Netflix, I've already watched this entire new movie, which also marks the return of their recurring nemesis, that shifty little penguin, Feathers McGraw. It has been years since the last time we saw any of these iconic characters, so of course, above all else, it just feels good to see them on the big screen again. And so, what's my overall verdict? This second feature film of Wallace and Gromit is a triumph. One of this year's most hilarious movies that the whole family can enjoy. It's whimsical, it's wacky, it's delightful, it's adventurous in a caper kind of way. With witty dialogues and impeccable comedic timing, the jokes will tickle your funny bone. I'm telling ya, you will laugh your ass off. That's how hysterical this gets. Aardman's four-time Academy Award-winning director Nick Park and Emmy Award-nominated Merlin Crossingham return with a brand new epic adventure, Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Fowl. In this next installment, Gromit's concern that Wallace is becoming too dependent on his inventions proves justified when Wallace invents a smart gnome that seems to develop a mind of its own. When it seems to be that a vengeful figure from the past might be masterminding things, it falls to Gromit to battle sinister forces and save his master, or Wallace may never be able to invent again. Now, a few years ago, I had the opportunity to interview the great director Nick Park about his other movie at that time, Early Man. Talking to the four-time Oscar-winning filmmaker was such an honor. I have been a big fan of his work with the world-famous Aardman Studio, which, as you know, is one of two powerhouses around when it comes to stop-motion animation, the other being Laika, of course. This time, for this one, Nick collaborated with Merlin Crossingham, and the result of their team-up is nothing short of fantastic. This film's sense of humor is so quick on its feet, and there's something so snappy and unexpected about it. Even when it pokes fun at some of the stereotypes revolving a villain, for example, there's always a clever spin to it which comes off ridiculous and entertaining at the same time. Now, what more can be said about the Aardman stop-motion animation quality that hasn't already been said before? I mean, Nick Park's direction is very meticulous. You can tell that every painstaking effort on every one of those claymated characters was done with such care and so much attention to detail. Nick's talented crew seem to have found some pockets of new innovations that make those characters' movements and facial expressions and reactions look even richer and more organic and more spot on than they ever did in the past. In the previous film, Curse of the Were-Rabbit, it had an eerie vibe to it because it paid homage to horror classics. This one has a tone that's a lot more upbeat and vibrant and comical, in which the imagination continuously bounces off from one side of the room to the other. The robot gnomes army crack me up. Now, I don't know if that is Nick's subliminal way of critiquing today's AI controversy, but even if he didn't purposely go that deep, the inclusion of such creation is absolutely brilliant. It goes to show how high the stakes are for our protagonist's friendship, and it all culminates in a very exciting, very thrilling, very amusing third act. The minor criticism that I could think of is, well, because Gromit has to convince Wallace, who for the most part is in denial of what he has inadvertently done, Gromit ends up having to carry a big chunk of the movie as opposed to it being an equal tandem. It's supposed to be Wallace and Gromit, right? But it feels more like a Gromit movie with Wallace playing the supporting role. And unless you have already watched some of Wallace and Gromit's other previous short films, you might not be too familiar with Feathers McGraw, and so watching him in this one might feel like you're missing out on some crucial backstory. But hey, that's not necessarily a terrible thing. This could be a wonderful introduction to the character and it might compel you to check out and catch up on the entire Wallace and Gromit franchise. So yeah, overall I give Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Foul the rating of 4 out of 5. The craftsmanship, the characters, the jokes, and the charm. This movie's dynamic, playful, spirited, quirky, creative energy knows no bounds.